Rite Aid has announced it will be filing for bankruptcy again. It is.
Well, Rite Aid has once again filed for bankruptcy.
The Justice Department filed a complaint against Rite Aid, asserting that the company had filled illegal prescriptions that had obvious and often multiple red flags.
You might have heard about how Rite Aid has filed for its second bankruptcy in 2 years, but buried in the filing is something they're not advertising. Starting next month, Rite Aid might refuse to honor gift cards, store credit, returns or exchanges, and reward points. If you're among the millions of Rite Aid shoppers affected by the imminent collapse, you need to act immediately to protect yourself and your family. Every day that passes increases your risk. Your medications could become unavailable. Your prescription records may become harder to transfer. Any financial investments in the company could become worthless. As one employee revealed, the patients who act first will have the smoothest transition. Those who wait could face serious disruptions in their medication access. In this video, we're exposing 6 critical warnings about Rite Aid's second bankruptcy that insiders don't want you to know. These revelations come directly from employees on the front lines who see the truth behind the corporate facade. Some of these will shock you, especially number 1, which is quietly putting millions of Americans at serious risk. Gift cards becoming worthless. According to employees, gift cards are about to become one of the most worthless pieces of plastic in your wallet, and it's not hard to see why. While they might look like cash equivalents and seem like a smart gift at first glance, they'll soon be completely unusable once the company pulls the plug. Starting next month, these cards will be nothing more than rectangular reminders of money lost forever, with store policy changing to refuse honoring them entirely. One employee shared a common warning they hear all the time: use it today or lose it tomorrow. And that's exactly what happens. Once bankruptcy proceedings advance, gift cards rarely hold any value. The bankruptcy court classifies gift card holders as unsecured creditors who get paid last, if at all. And instead of getting your money back, you're left with a useless piece of plastic and money you'll never see again. That's why Rite Aid employees recommend spending every last cent on your gift cards immediately. These may seem like they'll be valid for a while, but insiders know the company plans to void them within weeks, leaving millions of dollars in customer money essentially vanished. Don't let your hard-earned cash disappear without getting something in return. Store credit and returns disappearing. At first glance, Rite Aid's store credit and return policies seem to be operating normally. Fair, reasonable, and perfect for when you need to exchange something that wasn't quite right. But according to Rite Aid employees, that facade is about to crumble. One employee didn't hold back, saying customers have no idea what's coming next month, and they weren't exaggerating. These return policies are already being quietly restricted, with some stores rejecting returns already while still advertising their standard policy. Some customers even complain about being turned away at the register when trying to return unopened items or use store credit that should be valid. It's the kind of purchase protection that feels fine today, but will vanish without warning tomorrow. That's why employees recommend avoiding any major purchases you might need to return and using store credit immediately. In bankruptcy proceedings, these kinds of customer protections are among the first to disappear. In the long run, waiting even a few days could mean losing access to money you thought was safely stored as credit with the company. Reward points vanishing. According to Rite Aid employees, those loyalty points you've been accumulating are about to become worthless overnight. While they might look like a valuable future discount today, the reality kicks in the moment the company advances its bankruptcy proceedings. The point system will be shut down completely, the rewards canceled, and all that shopping loyalty instantly worthless. What started as a smart savings plan quickly turns into a missed opportunity with nothing to show for it. One employee noted that shoppers are completely unaware, continuing to save points for future purchases that will never happen. And that oversight isn't rare, it's happening to millions of customers nationwide. People who carefully accumulated rewards for years will suddenly find their accounts emptied without compensation or alternatives. It's a classic case of delayed redemption turning into no redemption at all. That's why employees strongly recommend redeeming reward points immediately for whatever you can get. These points are technically liabilities on the company's balance sheet, making them prime targets for elimination during bankruptcy. When it comes to protecting the value you've earned, acting fast beats losing everything when the system inevitably shuts down. Prescription records being lost. Rite Aid employees don't mince words when it comes to prescription records. While the system seems secure and permanent today, they say access to your complete medical history is at serious risk. The prescription database could become fragmented, inaccessible, or even completely unavailable as the company sells off assets and closes locations. These records might look safely stored in the system, but once locations close, accessing them becomes exponentially more difficult with each passing day. As one associate put it, the patients who act first will have the smoothest transition. Those who wait could face serious disruptions in their medication access. That warning comes from experience. Employees often hear horror stories about patients from previously closed pharmacies struggling to verify their medication histories at new pharmacies, facing dangerous delays in critical treatment. And heaven help you if you need controlled substances or specialty medications that require verification of prior prescriptions. The documentation chaos that follows closures can leave patients medically vulnerable for weeks. That's why employees suggest requesting complete prescription records immediately and transferring to a new pharmacy before systems become overwhelmed. Even within Rite Aid, there are procedures to transfer your records, but they're becoming increasingly backlogged. When it comes to your health, waiting for the official closure announcement could mean putting your medical care at serious risk. Medication availability declining. According to Rite Aid employees, few issues create more customer panic than dwindling medication supplies. Time and again, they hear the same desperate question: where's my medication? What starts as a seemingly well-stocked pharmacy quickly turns into barren shelves and unfilled prescriptions, especially as the company stops ordering new inventory during bankruptcy proceedings. These pharmacies might appear fully functional from the outside, but they're already struggling to maintain stock levels for even common medications. The biggest issue: suppliers demanding stricter payment terms, mandatory cash on delivery, or refusing to ship to financially troubled locations altogether. Employees report that many customers arrive to pick up critical prescriptions only to discover the medication is unavailable, with no clear timeline for restocking. Even worse, the limited inventory is creating a vicious cycle. As shelves empty, fewer customers shop at the stores, which means less revenue to purchase new inventory, which leads to even emptier shelves. By the time the third or fourth week rolls around, some locations can barely fill half their normal prescription volume. Recommend transferring prescriptions immediately to better stocked pharmacies and requesting longer supplies of critical medications while inventory remains. A few extra steps today can mean the difference between maintained health and dangerous medication gaps tomorrow. When it comes to your well-being, especially for chronic conditions, don't gamble on a pharmacy that's actively collapsing. Emergency medication access. This is the one Rite Aid employees warn about more than any other item on the list: emergency medication access. At the pharmacy counter, they're seeing firsthand how the collapse is already affecting patients with critical, time-sensitive medication needs. While regular refills face delays, the situation for emergency prescriptions is becoming dire as inventory systems fail and supply chains break down. Can't guarantee emergency medications will be available when you need them most. And that's the most dangerous aspect of this entire situation. By the time something urgent happens, an asthma attack, infection, or pain crisis, customers find that the medications they urgently need simply aren't available. Most of these emergency situations are outsourced to third-party suppliers, which means you're no longer dealing with reliable medication access. You're dealing with life-threatening delays, unfilled prescriptions, and critical care that never arrives when needed. Unless you have a backup plan already established at a stable pharmacy, Rite Aid employees say you're putting yourself at serious risk by continuing to depend on a collapsing system for emergency care. It's a classic case of waiting until a crisis to discover the safety net has already disappeared. That's why employees unanimously recommend establishing relationships with alternative pharmacies immediately, especially for medications you might need urgently: inhalers, antibiotics, pain management, or critical chronic medications. In most cases, waiting until an emergency occurs before changing pharmacies creates dangerous delays that directly impact health outcomes. Your emergency care deserves better than a pharmacy that's actively failing.